Giving thanks, blessings, God, family. It's your brother Roots God, and we are continuing with our Ma'at Detox. I got to tell you, it's been a special time, especially coupled with my trauma-informed certification that I just received, and so many different trainings that I've been doing. It's really just so connected, and it's showing me how beautiful the culture of Kemet was, because our ancestors in Kemet were able to be so connected to the human psyche, so connected to spirit, that they were able to articulate all of these things that have to deal with interpersonal relationships, mental health, trauma, just being in tune with the divine by being more in tune and more whole in self, being more holy, right? And I'm just grateful because I've been learning so much in this experience. Every fast is powerful for me, I'm not going to lie. Not only is it a lot of beautiful divine lessons coming through, but it's also a lot of manifestations in my life, and I'm very excited to be sharing a lot of these things with y'all. February just started, and yesterday and today I taught at two different studios, my first classes, and both powerful. Really excited about that. So till February 11th, y'all. So what's that? 9 more days. Definitely tune in. We are doing the Ma'at Detox on Zoom. So, come in, ask questions. Definitely, reflect and meditate on this law, the daily law with us. And then we also do some breath work and Kemetic yoga. It's a really beautiful time. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all, even if it's your first day. Like, trust me, no pressure. We love it. I'm giving thanks either way, and definitely want to be able to be more in my purpose. And I learned even today, as I was teaching my class, that there's a lot of different things that our minds can turn to, and society can try to teach us to almost dive into this idea where all the work we do is literally for gain, for financial gain, for money. And there's a spiritual gain that really comes with it. And I always go back to the ancestor Bob Marley, when he breaks down the concept of money not making you rich. And I'm really starting to see the richness of life, and in those ways of really just being in tune with my purpose, I see how Spirit, the Most High, the Nebuchadnezzar, the Infinite, is rewarding me. And yeah, we're going to talk about these next laws, and they've been very powerful. This 30th law in particular definitely just resonated with me so much. I've been reading this book by Mustafa Gadala, and it's called Egyptian Mystics or Egyptian Mysticism. And basically there's this part where it talks about how Kemet saw the Most High, the Infinite. And when we talk about, the so-called gods and goddesses of Kemet, really we're talking about the Neteru, and that's plural for Neter, the singular. So singular Neter, like, for example, if I'm saying Asar, Asar is a Neter. If I'm saying Aset, Aset is a Neter. Heru is a Neter. So the Neteru, this divine group, this amalgamation, really are different aspects of the Most High. Just like, we all have different aspects of ourselves, where none of us are one thing, right? And none of us are functioning off of one source. Like, yes, the source, but there's different aspects to us. There's even when we talk about the different systems of our body. If you talk about your hobbies, or even, you may have an occupation, but are you limited to that? Well, society may teach that you're supposed to be limited to this one aspect and this one idea. That ain't God. You know what I'm saying? That's not the infinite. That's not the divine. So how a lot of beautiful and wise Kemetic scholars with these beautiful expansive minds, they teach it, and also from just reciting it and translating the Medu Neter, it's the idea that the Most High is the source, the one, the one, the all within that one, right? And all of the Neteru, the forces of nature, are different aspects of the Most High, right? So definitely a powerful concept that I'm really starting to embody a lot more, and it's making a lot of sense as it translates to not only understanding spirituality on a deeper level, but also finding the connections and the links between every single religion. And it's all to be loved and adored. I'm just also making sure that we realize that there is a certain level of foundation Kemet has laid, and everything else is pretty much an offspring. And not to say that these cultures don't have their own beauty behind them. It's very beautiful. The adaptations, interpretations, and even different representations based off of where people are geographically and how they are also culturally. I think it's all powerful. It's all divine. And the one thing that's crazy to me about it is that we all feel like everyone needs to fit into one box when it comes to spirituality. This thing that's supposed to be really out of the box. It's supposed to be limitless. So, giving thanks. We're going to move to these 30 laws of Ma'at, or I should say the 42 laws of Ma'at, starting with the 30th law. So, the 30th law is, I have not acted with insolence. And when we think of insolence, that word really is like arrogance and being big-headed, being boastful, being disrespectful, even in the way that you talk to people based off of this demeanor that you may have, this inflated ego, and almost putting yourself on a pedestal, as they say. And I like to think of it as, yes, you don't want to be like too humble to the point where you're all the way down at the bottom, and you don't want to be too boastful to the point where you're up here and there's a lot of room to fall. But finding once again that balance, right, in Ma'at, and just thinking of these 7 principles, which has been such medicine for me, right? Truth, justice, order, balance, harmony, propriety, reciprocity. Just really even meditating on that. The 7 principles alone, you can see them interwoven through all the 42 laws, but then it's also a clear indication to anchor these laws. So when we think about not acting with insolence, we don't want to be too prideful that we're disregarding others. And harmony is such an important thing. It's such an important aspect of Ma'at. So when we're moving with arrogance or rudeness, that could be very disharmonious in terms of the energy that we're putting out into the world. My father, and I always say this, my father said people will never forget how you make them feel. So I think it's so important to move with a certain sense of humility and self-restraint. Also having respect for other people, whether they have different views than you, or whether you may think of yourself to be smarter than them, and maybe certain things they're still growing in, and you may have, but still being supportive in a healthy way. And so I think that we can apply this even to how we speak to each other online, because I think a lot of people, they get them Twitter fingers, as they used to call them, and it's like, just so much rudeness, so disrespectful. And I feel like we can engage with more kindness. We don't have to be dismissive, and if people disagree with us, we could disagree and still be loving, still be kind, still be generous. So yes, we gotta think about how we treat each other in the society on a deeper level, and cultivate a sense of humility. Lead with wisdom rather than ego, and uplift others rather than belittling them. So that is the 30th law. I have not acted with insolence. So we're going to move to the 31st law. And the 31st law is, honestly very related, because sometimes we will commit this, we will do this, and in doing this, it will lead to behaving with insolence when we judge hastily. So the 31st law is I have not judged hastily, right? And whenever we do anything with haste, sometimes it could be just thoughtless. Like we're almost moving in a sense where we don't even realize that some things may be trauma responses. We're responding in a way that we may have been used to for so long, and it's ingrained in us, but it may be based off of situations that we went through in the past that were not too not too great. So yeah, so we don't want to judge without having a certain level of wisdom and understanding. And I think it's interesting because it doesn't say not to judge. We judge all the time. Children are the best judges, right? They judge so quickly. They could say they don't like some food and they ain't even try it, right? And so I think it's related here, the idea of not judging hastily without making sure that you actually have allowed an experience or allowed even your thoughts to process. It's a certain level of acceptance, but then also being detached, and also, I think of the word judgmental. You see the word mental and judge, and it's like, do you focus your whole mental on judging? I think is also another thing. It's really taking our time with everything we do, because once again, I'm looking at this word hastily, and I'm thinking of the word breathe. And I talk about that a lot because I love breath. I mean, we all should love breath. That's what's keeping us here, right? So it's really about this idea of breathing through a conversation, especially when somebody's speaking, which, once again, all of these laws are connected in one way. So we're going to get to that next one, but or a few laws down. But pretty much it's like taking our time and approaching decisions with mindfulness, with patience. There's so many fast-paced energies in this society, especially for those of us who live in cities, and people are often impulsively reacting as opposed to thinking critically. And one of the biggest things I think we should be teaching in schools is critical thinking. That's what I do with a lot of my students, but really seeking clarity before forming opinions that we go and share with others, and avoiding bias and making informed and just choices, not only in our personal lives, but also in our professional lives. And realizing that wisdom requires patience. So yeah, that 31st law is definitely powerful for me because I just definitely have seen myself rushing through things, and it's like the divine wants us to take our time. The divine wants you to take your time. It's okay to just be in flow, just to be easy. And I remember even out in Panama with Dr. Aris, he was pretty much telling me the same thing. It's like, especially in the kitchen, sometimes, I used to think about being in the kitchen and I would watch all these cooking shows, and it's like they moving and they stressed out, and it's like, yo, forget about it, right? Let's go to the 32nd law. So the 32nd law is, I have not burned with rage. And, to me, rage is extreme anger. And it's okay to be angry, and it's also important to see where that anger may be coming from, and not to suppress or try to subdue it. You want to move through it. It's an emotion, energy, emotion. So when we're not processing our anger, it could become rage, and we could become very aggressive when we're burning with rage. And so when we're burning it with rage, we allow that anger to consume us in a way that's just unhealthy, and we are very reactive. Maybe certain moments we might have suppressed, and then finally something is happening, and it's like you just gotta let it out. We gotta release, which is why I love somatic work so much, in terms of being able to, for example, when we're doing our yoga, it's a powerful thing to be able to release in so many different ways. So yeah, emotional discipline is really what it's about, and that's also essential when it comes to harmony, and not only self harmony, but also community building. This is anger left unchecked, right? And it's definitely destructive. It's definitely a disruption to Ma'at and the cosmic order. So yeah, this could cause a lot of imbalance in somebody's life, and and also drive people away from you. So I think managing anger is definitely something that is crucial for your personal health as well, and also making sure that you maintain relationships that are also encouraging health. So I think, that stress, well, it's a fact that stress is definitely a big part, a big contributor, if not the main contributor to dis-ease, right? Stress is a dis-ease, and it could be the cause for many of the different things that people may be experiencing, because people will stress eat, may not get enough sleep, so you're stressing because you're not sleeping, or and yeah, that could lead to a lot of different issues as well. So yeah, I mean, really, this law, once again, not burning with rage, it's about emotional intelligence and having a little bit of self-restraint in terms of how we react or interact, and ensuring that our unchecked anger doesn't cloud our judgment. So definitely just reflect, and I'm even reflecting on ways that I could cultivate more patience and manage my own emotions when I feel like, all right, I'm getting there. It happens. We're human, we're people, and that's why we have so many beautiful lessons all around us. I mean, you are a divine lesson for somebody, and Ma'at in particular, these 42 laws have been some of the most powerful, just some of the most powerful teachings for me, because it's so digestible, and it's like something that we all understand, yet it challenges you to apply it, because everything is I will not and I have not, right? So we start with the almost the affirmation in the morning saying I will not, and then I have not is the almost like the once you complete your day, you're able to go through that checklist. So we're going to do the 33rd law now, which is I have not multiplied my speech overmuch, which basically means me not chat so much to people, like me not chat off your ear, which basically would mean I'm not speaking you to death. And a lot of times, especially when like I'll speak for myself, like especially as a teacher, as an educator, I'm learning this fine balance of allowing space, allowing others to express, and making sure that I'm being impeccable with my words, but I'm also being an impeccable listener. I love this Duke Ellington quote that says, I am the world's greatest listener. One of my jazz teachers taught me that a while back, and it always stuck with me, because it really, and even with students that I have, when I tell them that, it really just puts them in a mode of like of focus. And if Duke Ellington, one of the greatest musicians of all time, can say something like that, then I think we should probably apply it too, because his output was incredible. But imagine what he was inputting, what he was taking in, all of the information to be able to create that. So it's a part of being in tune. You can't harmonize with the world around you if you're not listening. So I love this idea where it's like, not multiplying your speech over much, because after a while, all you hear is yourself. So yes, I mean, speech, when we talk about speech, when we talk about Heka, right, these are like words of power, and it's sacred. Hu, right, Hu is what they would refer to as authoritative speech. So when we're speaking excessively without intention, it's almost isfet speech, so chaotic speech. And this law encourages thoughtful communication, because we're being more intentional with how we're speaking. We're making sure that we are listening to the other person, and then also making sure our words carry a certain level of wisdom and integrity. So excessive speech could lead to misinformation because you're going off so much that, I mean, everything that you say can't necessarily be the truth if you're not even allowing space for, that divine, that sacred pause, as my god brother Yomi Love says. If we're not giving space and giving room for the divine to breathe, allowing yourself to breathe so the divine can flow through you, because when we inspire, we take in spirit, and allowing just the space to hear stillness, to be still, to hear silence, and even in that silence, there's always so many divine downloads. So yeah, it's a powerful idea to not multiply your speech over much, so you're able to communicate with a certain level of wisdom, clarity, purpose, and also ensuring that words that you're using are aligning with the truth, and that it's harmonious conversation. So yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for going through these laws in this way, to not only just read them, because there was a moment when I was studying Kemetic yoga, and yeah, we would read through the laws every day, but to really embody them has been a whole different thing. So it's taught me, and I hope this helps you as well if you're watching, it's taught me to really process information a lot differently, because it's one thing to just read something, and it's another thing to really meditate on it and also live it, to truly embody and experience it. So I just encourage y'all, with whatever you're doing, really really try to have a deeper understanding with whatever you study, or whatever is coming, whatever is calling your attention, really. So that is the 30 through 33rd law of Ma'at. And yeah, we got 9 more to go. So probably 2 more videos, and then we gonna switch gears. But I'm just giving thanks for y'all. I'm giving thanks for every single one watching, and I'm affirming power and beauty in your life, all of your goals being accomplished, all of the people around you celebrating and affirming and uplifting you, and those who weren't uplifting you as you accomplish all these goals, you turn them into believers, you turn them into knowers, because you are a doer. You are a part of the beautiful essence of the Creator. You are a divine reflection of the Most High. And I'm giving thanks for sharing reality with you. I'm giving thanks for all of the Neteru, the forces, the cosmic forces of nature. I'm giving thanks for all of my teachers. I'm giving thanks for all of my students. I'm giving thanks for every single person on this planet, and every creature, every object, knowing that we are all a reflection of the divine. I give thanks to the divine, live this moment, give this day to the divine, and living every moment of every day as this divine. And Tep God family, stay rooted.